Good morning. My name is Sam and I'm welcoming you to the FPL show. Welcome to Game Week 7 review. We have quite an indifferent week, if I may call it. And on the screen is the template that I had decided to go with. Remember, I had shared a number of scenarios that I would be going with, and to some extent this is the one that I had chose to go with, or so I thought. So those were, I was not supposed to do all that at a go, but I wanted to have a plan to go down with, or to go into game week 8 with. So that is what I had been working on. I made 2 transfers. I think I brought in Mount, and I also brought in Otamendi. So meaning in that formation, the people who are remaining was Salah, Alexander-Arnold, McGinn, and Aubameyang. So that is where we intended to go. So in terms, when the week started, again, for the 3rd time this season, there were red arrows everywhere. And one might be worried, but I'm not. And this is why I'm not. I compared my current position with one of my friends. And again, I'm not defending myself, but our difference is 32 points. His captaincy did better than mine, but we have a difference of 32 points, and he is currently at 73k in terms of position, and I'm in 615,000, a difference of over 500,000 positions because of 32 points. So that's why I'm not that worried. I believe that with time, I'm going to creep up the radar. So I'm not worried. That's why I said I'm not worried about it. But a quick review of my team. Peters came through for Burnley. Randstrom, I didn't expect that much from me. In fact, he was not starting in my team. He was in my bench. But Wan-Bissaka decided that he was to sit out of this game. And to me, it doesn't matter much, because either Manchester United still conceded too, although I don't know whether they would have conceded that goal if Wan-Bissaka was in, considering the position he's playing. So I cannot defend and say that him not playing is not much of an issue. But there we go. Otamendi is one of my players who came in. I made 2 transfers, like I said. And again, Man City conceded. It was an away game against Everton, so I couldn't. It's possible, but being in my plans, I'll give him a few more weeks to see how much he develops, or whether he repays my faith in him. Sterling for once, and thank God that goal came in, because I was becoming desperate. When the game started and I realized Aguero was not playing, I felt that this is our day, where Sterling would play at a more advanced role. But for some reason, I don't know whether it's because of Gundogan, Sterling was so wide that I didn't know where the goal was coming from. Other than a cross, I didn't even see how he could even have assisted from that position. And then he lost one chance after the other, and I felt that this is a repeat again. But having captained him for the last 4 game weeks in a row, for once he came through for me, and I'm not sure whether I'm captaining him again. We'll go to our preview for game week 8 in our next video. But for this game week, he came through with 7 points, and I'm happy considering how everybody else was doing. Mane and Salah again are blanking. I think that's the 2nd game in a row. And me having that extra million with Mane instead of Salah, to me kind of give me some solace, because after all, both of them are not outdoing the other. De Bruyne, the stats were out there that he does very poorly away from home and even against Everton, and some of us shied away from giving him the armband, and he punished us with 9 points. You can see that yellow button there, so we are keeping tabs to see whether he is injured or whether he'll be back. Again, my attack line is disappointing. Barnes, Pukki and Abraham didn't do anything worth speaking or writing home about. Abraham had so many chances, so the promise is there considering the game time that is coming up. But for Barnes and Pukki, I am a worried man. Pukki, you can give him maybe a few more game weeks, because he is the attack man for Norwich, and we expect these returns to start coming back. I was surprised to learn that this week he is the most transferred out player. Maybe people are going for Woods, particularly because Barnes is also doing his best to ensure that we sell him, and I think I've had enough with him so far. I think this is the time for him to go. So anyway, that is my performance. Lanzini came back from injury but could only manage 1 point. Kelly, my 4.0 defender, keep ranking in the points but still on my bench. But anyway, just to know that all my bench can play, to me gives me some solace. So I'm okay with it. I also noted that my bench keeper also played. And that's a welcome return, because these are some of the 4.0 players that I expect to be warming my bench, because most likely they won't play. Now that they are playing, it means that even if one of my players is not in a game week, at least I have some points to come from the bench, like the way Randstrom did. So allow me to review 2 teams of my rivals. As I said, they are the people that we are competing with this season, among others, that is. Wamlambez, we even have some cash put aside for December and also now for May. And again, our teams, I noted that our teams are so similar, with 1 or 2 people who are not in either teams. But again, his season is going from bad to worse. Again, he also had red arrows. He did an 8 points hit to improve his team. I wish he could stick to his team, because his team is wonderful. I look at his players, and there are players that at one time or the other I would want to have. So he took an 8 points hit. He got a total of 53. That means that's about 45 points. So I extended my lead by an extra 5 points. So to me that was okay. He has Son, and to me I'm worried, because that Spurs attack with Son there, it leaves a Hurricane with some problems, and it is giving Son some points, and I see why he could buy such a player. Again, he has gone with Cantwell instead of Pukki. I hope he doesn't regret doing so, because once Pukki party is on, considering the number of people who have him, he's going to suffer even more. So he's at 3 million in terms of rank. My other competitor, the winning champs, that's my friend called Hassan. Man, I don't know how this guy is playing this game, but he is good. I had enjoyed seeing Aguero benched, although as the game progressed on, I knew Aguero had to come in, and I was fearing that he would even come in and score a goal while I waited for Sterling. But for what it's worth, his assist gave my captain the goal, so all is forgiven. I also look at his defense. How he went for Matip and Evans, and they are still racking in the points, is beyond me. And I think he is reminding me that there are some players out there that nobody is looking at that are really good. That Leicester fixture for the next around 6 or 7 games, I expect Evans to get even more points. I don't know whether I'll be going with any of their players. To me, I'd rather go with the attack, but not the defense. But that is me. But speaking of Hassan, he's doing well. He got 58 points. Again, took an 8 points hit. He made 3 transfers. Minus that from his total points, and that brings him to 50 points like me. And so you can see that he has 50 like me. He has done 3 transfers. That means he has improved his team. And this brings up my point that I raised in another video that you can go back and check about what really is it worth it taking these points hit, because sometimes it is. Instead of sticking with a team that you are not comfortable with, and as long as these changes you are making to affect that team for the next 3 or 4 weeks, to me it's worth it, and you don't need to take a wild card for it. If you are making 3 changes, then go with it. So he's at position 143, so far ahead of me, yet the difference in points is just minute. And dare I say this, I'm giving it 3 weeks and I'll be ahead of him. That is me. So there you have it. That is the review. That's the review of Game Week 7. It was indifferent, like I said. I'll be looking to make some changes in my team. Be on the lookout for the Game Week 8 preview, because I think for once in this week I'm taking an 8 points hit. Yes, there you have it, an 8 points hit, because I'm not comfortable with my current position even when we think that it's early days, and I want to take advantage of the indifference of everyone before crunch time. So thank you for joining me for this review. Ensure that you like, ensure that you share, ensure that you subscribe to the channel. The FPL show will come good. I know, I can feel it. And you'll be part of that team that made it great. Do have a great week ahead. Thank you.